Everybody. Just want to let you know what I'm trying to do here. I have been sitting down and just watching people walk through course offering after course offering. I just think, the courses are helpful, but really working with somebody is really interesting to see them doing it hands on and kind of walking through it. I'm going to do some live sessions. Um, live sessions and workshops. We're going to walk through, we're going to take requests about what to build. I'd love to hear your take on it. But today, what I wanted to do was I wanted to show you just how to use some ManyChat integration, just stays kind of in ManyChat, using all the tools in ManyChat, just a quick thing. And then you could just see how it works, and maybe we'll come up with something later. But I want to post something for you today because I just wanted to kind of test how I can do with the live demo. So let's just do that. What I want to do in this particular demo is I want to make a customer, delight a customer in a ManyChat flow. I would like them to put in their zip code, and I'll go out and find their city and state so they don't have to type those things in. That's a really interesting trick. Now, truth be told, there are places where one zip code could be multiple cities. That could happen. I've had that happen in the past, but for the most part, this is a pretty good tool. So I just want to give you some fair warning. I don't want to let you know that this is just the awesomest tool that never, ever, that always existed. So I'm going to stop rambling and I'm going to start working. So I'm going to create a flow. I'm going to call it my zip code finder. So all of you who are really anal about your naming conventions, this is not the place to be. Okay? So I am going to start. I'm going to say welcome. Thanks for signing up. Check right here. Thanks for signing up. Thanks for signing up. Let's see. I think it's thanks for signing up. That was really lame. Let's make an input card. What's your street address? Okay, and there'll be a street address. Okay, street address. Okay. And the next question we'll ask is, what's your zip postal code? Actually, I'm going to make it zip code because this API I'm using, I think it only pulls US addresses for the free API. Zip code. Okay, and okay. Just confirm that came in here. Okay, so that's here. And so now we're going to say we got this information. So the next step would be for us to go out and create an action. And we're going to create an action. We're going to create an external request. All right? And so the external request is going to be an API. I use ZipCodeAPI.com. It's a free way of looking at zip codes. It's free to use for US zip codes. Okay? So, for example, you can listen, let's say 48221, Detroit, Michigan. It tells you everything where it is. Okay? Let's start using the API. So you can use all sorts of things. These are some JavaScript ones if you're fancier around that, or if you're using website stuff. But you can dictate some distance between 2 zip codes. I think the one I want to use is, let's see. zip code to location. Okay, so we're going to test this. This is, like I said, so we'll pick a zip code I've obviously been working on, 48089, and we're going to make a request. And that's going to tell me that this zip code's in Warren, Michigan. It's in Detroit, Eastern Daylight Time. This is all the information it is, and even gives me the area codes. Okay, so we're going to really call this one. So this is what we have to do. This is what our external request is going to be. But as you see here, this is the format it's going to be asking for, and we'll show you exactly where to put it. It is not rocket science, and we're going to be using JSON. Okay, so that's going to be the format. So it's going to be info.json, and we're going to put the zip code that we asked for it. We already have a custom field for it, and the units, the ones that seem to work right now, are degrees. Let's see what happens when we do radians. It really doesn't make any difference, so we'll keep it with degrees. Okay, so what we'll do is we will go in, we'll go in and copy this because we're using this API key. Go in here, we're going to make the external request. We're going to add an external request, and it's going to be, I believe it's going to be a post request, and if it's not, it'll be a get request. We'll figure it out. Okay, so we put that in, but what we really want to do is we want to put in our training zip. All right, so that means it's going to go with our training zip code, and so we're going to test the request. Invalid request. So let's see if we can get invalid request. So what do we do wrong? Info.json. Oh, we haven't stored anything to this. So let me just validate that it's 48235. It's giving us a request back. Okay, so we want to, so now we know that, okay? But here's the thing. What we're going to do, we're going to have to do the response mapping. So we're going to have to take a city and state field that exists inside of our bot, and we're going to have to map the results that come back from this API to there. So we don't have to leave ManyChat to do that. But what we haven't done, obviously, is create those fields. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to here, external request. I totally apologize for that. So send message. Okay, we will send your package to street address and okay, so now I'm going to go walk away from this for a second. I'm going to go create, I have a lot of, it's called training city. I'm creating a place for the city value to land, and I'm going to put training state. Okay, hopefully this, so we're going back to the flows, back to training, back to zip code finder, in training city. Training state, and then obviously training zip. So now we've got that. So now we go back to this request, what we had before. Sorry about that. We go back to this request, add to our request. We go to our ZipCode API, copy this. So we have that test request, right? So now we've successfully gone out to that API, brought back the data, but now we have to map it to these two modules inside of ManyChat. And we have to add two things. We have to add something to training city, and then we have to do one to training state. So the way that I understand this and the way I look at it, this is the response we got back. So let me copy all of this, and I'll put a link to this information, this link that I use. I use something called the JSON Pathfinder. What I do is I paste the JSON that came in the result, right? And then once I paste that in, I want to beautify it so it looks like it did before. It gives me the information that basically reads this. And then when I go into here, I look at city. Now watch this. When I click city, it's going to tell me X city, X state. Let me explain something to you that took me a while to figure out. ManyChat's going to want, instead of X, it's going to want a $sign as a symbol for a state, and it's going to want a $sign there. So we know that city is going to be $city for this path. So we go to our response mapping, we go to $city, we add another one, we know it's going to be $state. Let's just go check and see if my memory is horrible. $state. Go training state. So that lets me know that when we go back and test it, our response mapping went through, and that's what we'll have. All right, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to save that. And so what we should do in this particular process, we should go ahead and preview this. Okay, let's see, 1, 2, 3 Main Street. Let's go 94109. And what's it going to do? It's going to go out and look up. So we'll send you a package to. You see, I put in the zip code. I forgot to change the zip code back to our token. And our token was, it still had 48109. So I'm going to change it back to training zip. Make sure there's no extra spaces. Okay, I'm going to save that. So now I'm going to preview this again. 1, 2, 3 main. 94109. That's San Francisco, California. There it is. So that is how we went out and looked at an API. We seriously just simply went out and found an API that had the information we wanted, and we can do that. So it's a simple step. We could go back into this API and we could calculate the distance between two zip codes. So now I'm curious. You want to do that? Okay, let's do that. So how would we do that? So we would send out both zip codes and bring back the units in miles. Okay, so let's do that. So now we're going to go add in here. This is kind of fun we can have, okay? And so we'll say, all right, so by the way, So the next one will be we will use okay, we'll call this one dust-zip. Just see how easy this is to really work with, right? So we make here, continue here, maybe make a little delay here, and I'll get rid of this because it's useless for me right now. And then I will go ahead and I will make this automatically continue, and I will, okay, and I will have to create a new, okay, to travel from Okay, so we're going to have to save that, and we're going to have to go back, and we're going to have to create another setting. I'm almost sure, custom field. I'm going to save it as text. I possibly could save it as a number, but I'm really not into doing all that right now. Okay. Called it, okay, so we call it distance. I forgot what I called it. Okay, so we'll go back and figure that out. So we'll go back into our flow. Training distance, okay. Make sure there's space in there. Okay. That's a lot of steps. All right, so now here we know the distance. Okay. Now, I'll go back into ManyChat. Sorry if this is taking too long for you. Interesting. The other one came laid in with the API. I need to go find the API for this particular one. Ah, because it let me test it. So if we go into here, test it from 0 to 806 or that, and we make a request, it'll give me that. So distance is there. Okay, so now, so we want to go, just to validate, we want to go from 1 to 2. Okay, just want to make sure I had the right order. So we know this is God, I have too many things. This is my training zip. This is the dust. Distance. God, I'm so bad. Okay. And the response mapping, obviously. So this is going to fail because we don't have a second zip code. But when we look at our response mapping, we know that we're going to have oh, dang it. No, that's not it. See? Thank you for thinking of me. This is the destination. This one, so let's actually, bad as it is, so actually, so I don't have to waste my time here, I'll go to the one that came back with the results. Go to here, the distance is just calculated here. Go to the JSON path finder. It's a little bit simpler. And so I hit path, it's going to be $distance. $distance. And it's going to be training distance. Okay. Let's see, we're not going to test it. That's how badass we are. Okay. And actually, because I'm a little worried that it may happen too fast, I don't think it's going to happen that fast. So maybe I'll make it wait for 1 second. And I won't show typing, I'll just show a delay. All right. So we're going to preview this. We're going to walk through this. Thanks for signing up. What's my street address? 23 Maple Avenue. Okay. What's the zip code? 94109. Oh, so it's okay. San Francisco. That's 941. Would you like to see how far it is from? Yeah. Yes. Let's make 30307. That's Atlanta. Okay. 2,138,104. Obviously, if I had put in numbers, it wouldn't look as creepy. So, and I would just put something like bots. And actually, Bot Profit has some pretty interesting stuff to set up around this. They can do some really good calculations around it, but I'm just going to preview this again because I just want to see it. Thanks for signing up. 2222 Mulberry Street. Let's go for 48221. Okay. Yes. Let's send it to 90210. From Detroit to Beverly Hills, about 1,981 miles. 1,980, that's a lot of steps. So that is how you use an API. That is how you bring back this data. So if I wanted to do this properly, like I said before, I would actually create this training distance as a matter of fact, let's do that in our next tutorial. I'll walk you through how to do that, and we'll walk you through how to convert it with Bot Profit, and we will walk through how to do it with Integromat as well. Thanks a lot. Have a great one.